Okay, hello everybody. This video is called How to Learn to Read and Write Chinese Characters. Now, I already did a video called How to Learn to Speak Chinese, and I hope that's helpful, but this video will concentrate on reading and writing Chinese. How do Chinese characters work? How do you recognize them and read them? And how do you write them? So, the first question a lot of people ask is, should I learn simplified Chinese or traditional Chinese characters? Now, the original Chinese, which was passed down from ancient times, is of course traditional Chinese, and this is still in use. However, the mainland Chinese government in the 50s and 60s decided to simplify many of the characters to make them easier to read and write, and to make them easier to learn. So if you are planning to work or study in Hong Kong or Taiwan, it would be useful to learn traditional Chinese. But if you otherwise, I would suggest learning simplified Chinese, because it's the language of China, which has such a large population, and it's also simpler to read and write. I wouldn't advise learning traditional and simplified Chinese at the same time. Maybe you can learn to recognize both, but to learn to write both would cause a lot of confusion. So let's have a look at some Chinese which I've written. So let's have a look at these two sentences. Now, these two sentences here are the same, but the top one is written in simplified Chinese and the bottom one in traditional Chinese. So if you look carefully, you can see that only two of the characters are different. So in simplified Chinese, not all of the characters have been simplified. Some of them are the same. So there's only about 2,000 or so that are different. And here we have some more examples of traditional and simplified Chinese. The left character here is the traditional version, and the right one is the simplified version. So that will give you an idea of how some characters have been simplified. Okay. So now let's talk about how do Chinese characters work. So there are four really types of characters. Now the first type of character is a pictograph. So this means a picture of an actual object which has been represented in Chinese. So if we look at some examples here, first of all we have this character here, which means sun. The first row comes from a picture of sun. 日 means sun. Here we have moon. 月 which comes from a picture of a moon. Thirdly, we have 人 which comes from a picture of a person. And then on the fourth line we have 木 which looks like a tree, as you can see. So these are just some examples of pictograms or pictographs, characters which are supposed to look like physical objects. So this is the first type. The second type are ideograms. Now these are characters which represent concepts. So these three characters here, one horizontal line, two horizontal lines, and three horizontal lines. These represent the numbers 1, 2, and 3. 一, 二, 三 represent the numbers. And then here, this character means convex, or sticking out. So you can see it's a little box with a section sticking out. And this character is the opposite. This means concave. So you can see that it's kind of like a box with a little hole cut out of it. So that represents the image that it's describing. So this type of character is called an ideograph. And then the third type of character is two ideas or two pictures combined. This is what I'm calling it. So this character here, the left side represents woman, and the right side represents child. So woman plus child together represents good. 好, this character means good. Secondly, this is the bottom is a woman again, and the top is a roof. So woman underneath a roof represents safe. This character means safe. And the third character, this is a sun, and the right is a moon, and this means shining or bright. And the fourth one, the top of it means roof again, and the bottom is a pig, or a type of wild animal. So a pig underneath a roof, this means household. And there are some other examples. The fourth type of Chinese character, and this is what 80 to 90% of Chinese characters are, is a radical, which means a basic building block of a character which represents a concept, and a phonetic component. So in other words, half of the character gives you the meaning, or the rough area of the meaning, and the other half tells you roughly how to pronounce it. So all of these characters, you can see this figure on the right here, this figure on the right here, the figure on the right here, and the bottom of this character, they're all the same component. Hopefully you can see that. Now these characters have different meanings. This one means mother, this one means a question word, this one means a number, okay? But they all are pronounced similarly, so this is ma, 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 and ma. So these characters may have completely different meanings, but they're pronounced in a similar way, which is represented by the right hand side here, which is the phonetic component. Okay, so these are the types of Chinese characters. So let's talk now about radicals. So these give the characters a meaning, or they represent the rough area of meaning for the character. So here, this part of the character represents a hand. So here, this character means to pull, la. This one means push, tui, and this one means to hit, da. Now you can see that these characters, the left-hand side, is all this form here, which means hand. So here, the second one, we have the speech. This radical means speech. So here, this word means shuo, speak. This character means hua, which means words, and this character means ping, to criticize. So these are just some examples. Here we have tree, a tree. So this character here, yi, chair. Here, chuang, bed. And here we have two trees together, lin, which means a forest. Here we have a mouth, which is just a square basically. Now this represents a mouth and is using characters like chi, to eat, and wen, which means kiss. So here you can see these characters all something to do with using the mouth, and these characters are all something to do with wood or trees. Here we have fire. So this is used in words like, here we have kao, which means to bake something, and here chao, this means to stir fry. So these are all to do with fire, which is the left hand side of the character. Here, this character means woman, nu, and as a radical it gives meaning to other words. For example, ma, this means mother, and hun means marriage or marry. So that's just two examples. Now at the bottom here we have 3 droplets of water, and this means something to do with water. So here we have jiang, a river, and hai, the sea. So those are just some examples. Now these radicals, which give the character their meaning, they can not only be on the side of the character, like these, but they can also be on the top. So this character means grass. So here, this character as a full character means grass, cao. This one means a flower, hua, and this one means medicine, yao. So they all come from this root, which is grass, or some kind of vegetation. And then here we have a radical which is all on the bottom of the characters. So it means heart, or something to do with emotions. So this character 想 means think. This character means to love, 恋, and this character means to miss somebody, 念. So these all use the heart radical. Okay, and in the second part of this video I will explain how you can learn to write these characters.